Guys did a bunch of great things for most of the game, and then just didn't do enough. So it was a tough one.
You kind of chalked the second half up to defense, and kind of like you said after the game, some missed tackles here and there, and maybe the injuries even had something to do with it.
No, I think you win as a whole team and you lose as a whole team. Obviously the defense didn't play the way they've been playing in the second half, but you can still step up offensively. We settled. Really, you can break it down to the critical zone. They had the ball 6 times in the critical zone and scored 6 touchdowns. We had the ball 9 times in the critical zone, had 2 touchdowns, 4 field goals. And the other touchdowns were outside of what we consider the critical zone. So that's something we were 100% really, besides taking a knee going into the game, and had a missed field goal down there and had 2 turnovers. So and had 4 field goals. So I told the team Sunday night, if just one of those field goals we score a touchdown, or just one of their touchdowns we hold them to a field goal, you win the game. And if you do that a couple times, you win the game easily.
Seemed like their New Mexico State's offense picked up the pace a little bit. Did that factor in?
It could have. It could have. They out-executed us in the second half. That's really the bottom line. And their offense against our defense.
A lot of talk on their side about Mark's play that had their quarterback injured on the final drive. Have you got a chance to look at that play?
Yeah, I did. Did
you see any ill intention there?
I really personally didn't. I think it was just the Seahawks. That's how the Seahawks teach tackle, and that's what we teach. You tackle and you roll. But he's going to be suspended for a game by the league. That'll be coming out later today, so he'll miss the next game for it.
Who steps in Mark's spot there?
We'll move a couple guys around. Ed Hall will play. The one good thing about Caden Ellis is he can play all 3 spots. The thing with Chris, he can play both back and up front. So, we'll just kind of see how the week of practice goes on. But it'll be between Ed Hall, Caden moving around, and Chris moving around.
Did Chris suffer an injury in New Mexico State?
Yeah, he dinged up his shoulder a little bit and missed some of the last quarter. So it's kind of the same thing he's been playing on and off with all year. So it wasn't anything. He'll be fine this week.
How about 20 with Mario?
Still don't know yet. Obviously you hope that he's back, but it's kind of a day-to-day.
Jake Wooten?
Day-to-day.
If Jake can't go, would Gunner be the backup?
That would depend on if it was just where we needed a few snaps in the game, Kareem would play there. Kareem would get some reps this week. If it was a case where, it was over a couple snaps, then Gunner would be, yes. But if it's not more than just a couple snaps, I'd still like to say Gunner's redshirt year.
Do you have an update on Desmond right now?
No.
Same thing as last week.
As of right now, yes.
Did you get a chance to look? Did you know that the guy caught the interception with his feet on that end of the game?
I didn't know right when the game ended until I saw it on the tape.
That just kind of feel like just
kind of
everything was going down
the whole day off,
yeah.
But it was, it's a play that we call Why Patriot, and a lot of times it's our Patriot. That's really the play that we've hit Trent on a lot of seams this year. But on that one, Trent had the shallow cross, and there was some seams, and just wish he would have thrown the shallow cross. But the kid made a heck of a play, so I got to give him credit.
Hightower had a big game. Did you kind of expect one of those receivers to have a big game like that and step up?
I did, and I expected him to do it. He had a great week of practice. He really, it's kind of like James Baker 2 years ago. We had to kind of sit him down one game and teach him how to practice hard, and then he came out and played really good for the next 3 games. And Hightower needed to learn how to practice hard, and so he didn't play a whole lot for the last 2 games, and he came out this last week and had a great week of practice, and then that carried over into it. I thought he played really well.
What does that do for those guys, those receivers, showing that they can actually get it done?
It gives them a lot of confidence, I think. I think it makes them confident in themselves. I think it makes them confident in the scheme. Really, if you go out and you practice hard in our offense, you're probably going to catch a lot of balls and make plays.
With Penny, was it just kind of more of the same with what he was doing against Monroe?
Yeah, he just, he's been a stud for the last 2 weeks. You got to give all the 5 linemen up front and Manley, credit. They did a great job of blocking. It's really sad for a guy like Penny to walk off that field without a win. He rushes for that many yards. He runs for 2 touchdowns. He catches a touchdown. He's left everything he had out on that field. You felt bad for him that he didn't walk off that field with a win.
You kind of said that his hands really kind of separate him from other guys, other running backs, that he can use his hands well. Is that something that you guys kind of went into the game trying to get him the ball in a few different ways?
Yeah, and I think we do a lot of games. You know, I think that's why he's got a bright future. I mean, there's no doubt he'll get into camp, and in my opinion, there's no doubt he'll make a team because he can do it all. You know, he's a really good protector. He's got great hands, and he's going to run hard. There's just not that many big backs out there anymore that can do all three of those things. So that makes him, you know, credit to him for all his hard work and what he's done.
Did you expect him to be to make this big of an impact this season? I mean, he seems like he's one of your biggest impact players on offense.
Yeah, I did. I thought he was going to be definitely an impact player this year, and you know, he's just worked hard. He's a great kid. You know, you see him gets out into the grade schools in the community, goes and volunteers at the shelter. You know, you're really proud of him. That's the more pennies we can get around here, the better.
You talked about the wins creating a positive momentum around here. How do you make sure that a loss like that doesn't reverse?
Yeah, you know, we got to move on. You know, I told them Sunday night, everybody's got to look at the film. I don't want any finger pointing. You know, everybody took a huge role in that loss, starting with me. It always starts with me. But we got to look at it. We got to analyze it. We got to know what we could have done better, and then we got to move on. And starting tonight, we got to have a great practice and have a great passion about us and a fire about us, and go out there and get better every single day and go down to Mobile and get a win.
South Alabama has a boom and bust kind of running back, Xavier Johnson. What do you see out of him and scare you a little bit?
Yeah, he's a one-cut slasher, I guess is really how I'd describe him. He runs hard, he runs with good pad level, and you know, he's a good player. And then those skill players are, you know, the tight end, number one. They got some skill players that are a little scary.
Are you going to judge your success on defense by, you know, keeping him from busting out big runs? I know he's had like 3 over 60 this year.
Yeah, I mean, we just gotta get stops. You know, we played 2 games and a half of really good defense in a row, and then we had a bad half of defense. So we just got to get back to playing good defense, you know, and everybody flying around, everybody tackling well, everybody helping each other, having each other's backs, and we just got to go down there and play the very best we can play and score one more point than they do.
When you look at the last game, I think there were 51 seconds left and you guys got the ball back. And in hindsight, do you kind of wish you would have taken a shot there and tried to set Austin up for a long field goal?
Well, a lot of times what I do, you know, we scored at the end of the half in our last 2 games. And a lot of times what you'll do is you'll try to get an easy completion first, or maybe pop a draw and then go from there, you know. And what you don't want to do is take a shot and turn it over and then give them a chance to kick a field goal right at the end of beat you. So I was hoping to get one of those first 2 plays to get a first down or another first down, then take a shot. That's kind of what I was thinking.
Matt's had a few of those deals where he throws an interception late in a game like that. That kind of is one of the reasons that you guys lose a game. How do you kind of keep a guy like that from losing his confidence, and what do you say to him after games like that?
You know, we had 92 plays on offense, and he probably had 1 bad play, 1 real bad play. You know, the last interception, the first interception I don't put on him. Is this a bad play? But he made probably, I don't know, 78 really good plays. So I don't think his confidence should be anything but high. You know, playing quarterback's a learning experience. I think everyone grows and you learn from your mistakes, and that's something he's going to learn from. But you know, if he watches that whole tape and watches that game, he should be confident because he played his butt off. You know, made a bunch of big plays running, made a bunch of good throws. Just, you know, made 1 bad decision and the guy made a great play on it. So that's just something we got to grow from and move on.
You've talked in the past about Linehan becoming a willing runner. Are you kind of seeing him, you know, actually apply that more?
Yeah, he's done a great job. You know, had that great run for a touchdown. Had a couple of huge runs for 3rd down conversions. He did some nice things for us. I thought he played well.
What's the status on Duckworth?
Day to day. I'm hoping we're going to get him back this week for sure.
Is his absence, you think, part of why Penny's been able to put up career numbers past 2 weeks?
A little bit, but part of it too is he's just been playing so well because 2 games ago Penny was okay, you know, or excuse me, Duckworth was okay, but Penny's just been playing really well, and when they're hot, you keep giving him the ball. But he probably wouldn't have got that many carries if Duck was healthy in the last game.
With Duck, if you get Duck back, do you expect to give Penny 30+ again?
Maybe not plus, maybe just 30.
What did you kind of see from Matt in terms of his decision making? You said he only made that one mistake, but he had a great day running the ball again. And
Yeah, I thought he did a lot of good things. There was maybe 2 plays in the running game because we choiced most of our runs where he could have went the opposite way that he went. And then the last play. Other than that, I thought he just did a really good job of seeing the defense, seeing what they're taking, what they gave him, being accurate, running the ball when he had to. He just did a lot of we scored 48 points. Could have easily scored 60. So had 92 plays, really moved the ball up and down the field. So obviously, quarterback's doing something right when you do that.
When you look at that 4th and 22 that they completed on film, where did the coverage kind of break down there?
God, it was 2-man. It was 2-man, and they hit a bender. That's hard to take. As a coach, you don't call a bender against 2-man. You don't think you're ever going to get hurt, get beat on that. But kid made a heck of a throw, and kid made a great catch.
With this week bouncing back after a tough loss, heading on the road again, maybe a test of this team's toughness of how they play this week?
No question. Test of our toughness, test of our leadership. And I expect us to have a great week of practice, go down there. And one thing that these guys have done all year is stuck together and fought for each other, and we're going to go down there and play our hearts out, no doubt.
Do you think Chris and Twaney missing the time that they did in that game had any impact on the fourth quarter points that they put up?
Yeah, probably did. They're 2 of our better players. Yeah, probably did for sure.
Dave, do you have anything for Coach?
Yeah, Coach, you kind of mentioned it a little bit. What's kind of just been the reaction of the team? Certainly that trip home probably wasn't the most fun, but how has the team kind of responded from what you've seen so far after just such a tough game like that?
I think there was a lot of guys that were really hurt, but they should be hurt. You lay your heart out there, you work as hard as you can, and you come up a little short. So I think there was a lot of guys that were hurting, but we're going to bounce back and have a great week of practice, and guys are going to be upbeat and attack it with a positive attitude. And I look, these next 3 days are the big 3 days of practice, of the real hard work. So I really can judge it more after that. But just walking around, seeing guys, I feel like we're going to have a great week of practice.
And I know going into New Mexico State game, you did talk about with Desmond out, the other receivers stepping up, and it seems like especially early on that they did. How do you feel that kind of those guys did?
I thought they did good. I thought Hightower did a good job. Had over 100 yards. I thought Boston had a couple great catches. He really has good hands. Took a big hit one time, jumped right up. The catch he made on that slant when they got to targeting was a big-time catch because it was on his back hip. He had to pivot catch it, and then he got whacked. He held on to the ball. I think Boston's future is going to be unbelievably high because he's got both quickness and speed, but what he has on top of that, a lot of times guys that have that, he's got great hands. So we can get him just to pump his arms and play as fast as he possibly can on every single play, he's going to be really special. Trent Cowan did some good things. Ruben, I thought, stepped up, made a couple plays for us. They were keying pretty heavily on Dion. Tried to get him the ball a lot, and didn't necessarily get him as much as I wanted to. But I thought as a group they stepped up and played hard, and they really graded out well on effort. And so they just need to come out and have another good week of practice and keep moving forward.
Thanks, Coach.
How much do you think that helps Matt, that he was able to see guys like Ruben?
I think it helps a lot. Yeah, I think it helps a lot because then it gives you confidence in everybody. And it helped during the week of practice because the ball was spread out more in practice. More guys caught the ball and had a good week of practice. I think it helps him. I think it lets him see, always tell the players all the time, the film's your resume. The film's your resume, for me, but also for the quarterbacks. So the more you can make plays on film, the more you do it in practice and they see it, it's just human nature, then they're going to go to you more.
Do you guys as coaches have to kind of teach a team how to have a killer instinct, or is it something they have to kind of figure out on their own from losses like this one?
God. Kept saying it over and over and over on the sideline, come on, we got to put them away, we got to put them away. but you gotta do it. You know, you probably gotta experience it and do it, and, so at least we're moving to the process where we're in that position to do it, you know. But, you know, there's no doubt we're getting better and better and better, but when you get somebody down like that, you gotta put them away.
Do you get the sense that they feel like they can do that?
Yeah, I think they better have learned from it. I think they did learn from it. They realized that, you know, maybe some guys got a little, especially when the first play of the second half we get a pick, next play we score a touchdown, we're up 30-7. I think defensively some guys let up a little bit.
I think the term is, knowing how to win, and obviously they got a couple wins, but I think maybe these guys not really being in the situation where they've been blowing a team out.
Probably, yeah. I probably played a role in it, no doubt. So they got to experience it, and it's good. We got to hopefully experience it again and make sure we finish it. I think this week will be, I told them Sunday, this week's going to come down. We want this game to be close. We need it to be close in the fourth quarter and then find a way to win it in the fourth quarter.
Good?
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
Thanks, everybody.